Alright guys, welcome to another video. Shiraz here. Before we dive into this guys, you know the usual drill. If you're new, coming across my content for the first time, consider subscribing guys. Smash the subscribe button, do it for me. If you're already a subscriber, hit that bell ding dong so you know the next time I post content. And if you did like today's content guys, give it a thumbs up. Post some comments down below. Let's get some discussions going guys in these videos. And share it to the YouTube universe. Helps me a ton, alright? Watch us through the end guys so you get the whole information, because it's a very important video today. Okay, let's just dive right into this guys. Why you don't make gains in the gym. Okay, why you don't make gains in the gym guys. I've seen throughout my time, I've been training 14 years of my life naturally. I've never been assisted through anabolic steroids. I've never felt the need to take anabolic steroids. I've never felt the inclination to go in that direction, alright, because I was always aware of the dangers of anabolic steroids, and I've never been a guy for short-term gratification. And this is a video coming up that I'm going to do about short-term gratification and long-term gratification, alright? So I've never been to short-term gratification, so I've never felt the need to take shortcuts, and this is why most people go on anabolic steroids is because they take the shortcuts. They don't want to put in the hard work, and this is just my personal opinion guys. They don't want to put in the hard work, so they go on performance enhancing drugs so they can cut 6-7 years, 10 years work in a short space of time and in 2 or 3 months. And you know, you can give the arguments over this, but you know, this is just my opinion guys that I'm forming from being 14 years of training. Okay, I've seen people go on PEDs, and I've seen people come off PEDs after 10-11 years, and I've seen what it does to them and what the result of that. So form your own opinions, but we're digressing a wee bit here. Okay, so many guys out there training guys in the gym, all right, year by year by year by year. I see it all the time guys. I've seen people 6-7 years training, and they just, their physique doesn't change. They don't improve in their physique, all right. You just see them doing the same thing. You always get the regulars coming into the gym guys, all right, these kind of regular members, and you see them over the years, 2019, 2020, 2021, and the same old thing. They're doing the same old routine, as the same old lethargic approach to the training, all right, as the same old mindset to the training. And that's the key thing, mindset guys, all right. So they never, their training never changes, all right. And bottom line is they don't develop, they never come on, so they don't see any changes, all right. And that's the biggest key there is guys, ultimately the reason they're not seeing changes is they're failing to put in the work. That's the bottom line, bottom basis, and that's they're failing to put in the work. Especially guys, when you don't go down the performance enhancing drugs line, you have to train, in my personal opinion, just my opinion guys, you have to train 2-3 times as hard as somebody on performance enhancing drugs. Because if you know anything of the science behind it, performance enhancing drugs allows somebody to train a lot harder than somebody in their natural condition. So they can train a lot harder, a lot longer, and they can recover quicker. That's why the muscle mass increases so much, is because the recovery is so quick, all right. That's what gives them the volume. So but whereas somebody natural, they have to put in effort after effort, and the gains aren't as quick, all right. It's more long term, it's more kind of a long term goal, all right. And you're always having to improve on what you're doing. You're always having to try and bump up your numbers, trying to find other ways to stimulate your muscle, trying to push your muscle beyond the limit, all right. It's not as easy guys, all right. Training natural, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys, all right. Training natural is severely difficult guys, and a lot of people don't have the mental mindset to have longevity training natural. And that's why nowadays the industry is so full of performance enhancing drug use, including even youngsters as young as 2021 now is rife guys, because you're going to see these young boys now. I remember when I was that age, and there's no way I was built like these guys are built at 21, 22, and they're built like they've been training for 9-10 years, and that's literally impossible guys, all right. There are newbie gains, yes, but not the kind of way these boys are looking, all right? And that's the way the fitness industry is unfortunately gone, is it's rife with PADs as young as 20, 21, 22, 23. They're taking it, all right? You see these boys benching 50 plates a side, all right, and they're only 21, 22. Impossible, guys, all right, because I've been doing this a very long time, and that's not possible at that age without some sort of chemical assistance, all right? And I can look at these guys and I can tell you straight away, guys, who's petting and who's not, you know, because I've been doing this a very long time. But digression there again, you know, this simple stated fact is that it's harder to train naturally. They're not training hard enough. That's why you're not making gains. You have to go and train very, very hard. Every day has to be like it's your first day. You have to train harder, harder, harder. Your diet has to be in point. And guys, people are just not willing to do that. People are just not willing to train as hard as that. It could be a number of reasons. They don't see what's the point of that effort, but or they don't have a motivation to train that hard, and that's why they're not seeing the gains. Basically, they don't have the you have to create a motivation to get continual gains when you're naturally training, all right? You have to find some excuse or some motivation, guys, and the excuse could even be as lame as getting girls. I know, and I know that's lame, right? But it could be even as lame as that, as getting more tail, right? Okay, or getting more tail, or just getting more of the female attention. That could be as lame as that. It could be just, you know, you want to level up, you want to look better when you're older, or you want to be fit older. My motivation is mostly I just want to have the best physique I can physically and naturally achieve. I want to see what condition I can get into my older age. And guys, I'm still gaining and gaining and gaining. It's unbelievable. So don't believe what you read about. Once you get past a certain age or this and that, you can't. This nonsense is about the work you put in. I'm a living example of that. I continuously make gains, even on weak points. I'm continuously making gains. I've got better arms this year, guys. My shoulders have come on, better striations all over my body, better splits all over my body. Bottom half has come on. Pressing 250k, squatting the best squats I've ever done, and compared to even 4 or 5 years ago. So continuously gaining, right? Because I'm putting in the hard work. Simple as it is, I'm going through it. The suffering, guys, there's no shortcut. I go through the suffering. I make sure I will not leave the gym until I've suffered for the 1 or 2 hours in that gym. And people can't keep that kind of mindset up. I understand, guys, it is difficult, but this is what you have to do. This is why you're not gaining, all right? Sometimes, guys, it's difficult. Sometimes your joints are sore. You do get now and again a lot more niggles, especially as you get older, as you get down the line, but it's not impossible. You just have to tail it back. If you have to take a week off, take a week off, let your body rest. But you can make continuous gains, all right? There will be maybe a genetic limit to where you will be able to go. You may finally hit a plateau, but right now, guys, I see no plateaus that I'm hitting. I'm continuously growing, continuously going. Yes, it's a long walk to it. It's a long path, guys, but like anything in life, anything you want to gain in life, guys, is a long path. There are no shortcuts. Even if you have a goal or a dream to achieve something, that doesn't come overnight, guys. It takes resilience, it takes a lot of hard work, and a long pathway, right? The pathway is never linear, it's never A to B. There's always going to be this kind of momentum to it, cycles of life. But if you just have the goal in mind, if you have the faith and the belief, you can do that. So according to your training, training has taught me a lot about this, okay? And you can apply this to your training. Have a long-term goal, guys. Just remember, you have to push it constantly. You have to find some way to constantly push it, to constantly renew your training, to constantly renew the love of your training, and you will constantly continue to grow if you train in the right way. And this is the reason why guys are not growing. Guys, they're simply not training hard enough. They're simply not putting in the effort year by year. They will do a wee bit of effort, and then that's it. They'll come in and go through the motions. And I'm sorry, guys, sorry to say, tough, hard truth, you'll never gain muscle like this, especially if you're not on performance enhancing drugs. You will have to put in double the work, all right? This is just the way it goes. Yes, it's frustrating. You see these guys come in, guys in 6 weeks, they're built like tanks, about 4 times the size, but this is just something you have to cope with, guys. But if you eventually be patient, you're going to start overtaking these people, guys, down the line. It's also about health, and down the line, you want to be fit, healthy, and you want to be that ripped 50-year-old. You want to be that ripped 60-year-old. Certainly, that's my plan, guys. All right, to be that 60-year-old who's out doing all these young ones who's still squatting. Guys, I intend to squat heavy at 60. That's my intention. That's my goal. I intend to still bench heavy at 60. I intend to outdo young boys at that age, you know, as long as they're training the right way, and that's my intention, and that's what keeps me going. So you can find a drive, you can find a drive, and you can kind of continue to gain muscle and continuous goals, if that's your goal, guys. Obviously, that's not everybody's goal, but I'm sure a lot of you guys, that is your main goal in the gym, is to create muscle, to look your physical best. You know, everybody's different, so that's the reason, guys, that you're maybe not putting on muscle. You don't put on muscle, you're failing to do it, you're just looking the same. This is the main reason, is that you're not working hard enough, guys. That's it. And you're not putting the right practices in place and the processes in place, i.e. rest, eat, sleep. Don't involve yourself in toxic behavior and toxic indulgences, guys. All right, it doesn't pay off. I mean, young guys are quite arrogant. They think they can do it because they're young, but still, if you look at the toxicity of alcohol, you know, you get some of these boys training 4 or 5 days a week and they're out blowing it the weekend. The toxicity of alcohol will do no good to your muscle, guys, all right? I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it, guys, all right? But, you know, it's the arrogance of youth, guys. I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it myself. I've been there myself. So that's why you're not putting on muscle, guys. That's why you're not making any development. You're just simply not training hard enough, and you're simply not driving yourself, all right? Okay, so you need to kind of take heed this and take this advice and start training harder and start putting more effort into your training and start finding new ways to push yourself. You need to be pushing yourself on the boundaries. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope this one gave you value. Support the channel, guys. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, all right? Because this stuff's going to help you level up, all right? It's going to really take you to the next level, all right? And I've got a lot of good content coming this year, guys, that you need to know about. You need to learn about this. It is going to make your journey. It's going to stop you from tripping up through your journey as a man, all right? So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to leave it here. Until the next one, it's your Raz out. Keep pushing those sets, all right? I want to see you push those sets. I want to see you packing on that muscle up until the next year, all right? Take care, Shiraz out.